Welcome back. Let's put this in the ether. There's no cure for mental illness, all right? That's what I think. There's no cure, right? If there's a cure, why are there still crazy people out there, right? There's no cure. There are treatments, and these treatments are not a permanent solution for a continuous problem, right? What are the treatment? The treatment is just hop on people on drugs. That's basically it. That's the treatment, right? Sedate them as long as you can. They keep filling them with medications, right? And the only thing it benefits, you know what it benefits, right? It benefits the drug company because they're making a lot of money producing all these antidepressants, all these mental medications to seduce you. That's what it is. It's a constant cycle. There's no way of breaking this cycle, all right? So they don't want a cure for mental illness because it's stopping the cycle, stopping the money flow for these companies out there, all right? It's not only that; it's to control people, right? When you're doped up on medications, right? What does that mean? What are in this medication? You know, the number one ingredient in Prozac is fluorides, right? What do fluorides do? Fluoride make people docile. Why do you think they put fluoride in the water supply, right? And people drink that. Why they encourage you? Oh, the water supply is clean. You should drink it, right? Most of this nation, the United States, most of the municipality are fluoridated water. Right? What does that do to people? Right? It make them docile, make them less combatant, make them more of a slave. This is why I don't suggest anybody to drink fluoridated water or just don't drink municipality water. If you gotta cook with water, cook with filtered water, right? Or distilled water. But I digress on that, right? This is what they put in the medication. Fluoride is the number one ingredient in Prozac. I think it's probably in other kind of medication as well, right? It docile people, right? This is why there's no cure for mental illness. It benefits these companies out there. And it's a chain event, right? And not only that, what are the cure? There is no cure. You have to deal with these people, right? Back in the 60s, they realized this, and what they do, right? They just lock up all these people in an asylum and don't let them out and just dope them up the whole time, right? They just dope them up, feeding them medications the whole time. While these companies making dough out of suffering, right? Now, what they did in Roman antiquities, when they think that you're crazy, you know what they do, right? They lock you up in a cell until you come to your senses. That's what they do, right? And that's kind of, I don't know, man. That's kind of, I'm not advocating all this stuff, right? I'm just telling you what they did back in antiquities, right? And then now in the 60s, they used to use electroshock therapy, which is, I think, is even worse. It's like kind of torturing people, right? Where does this thing come from, right? So, and there's no evidence that these things actually can cure anything. It's just a temporary bandages. I don't even say as a solutions, right? There's no cure for mental illness. What people don't understand that you can't cure crazy, right? There's no way of doing that. Because how you define crazy with people, right? Crazy, I guess the people define crazy is people that go against the norm, right? But if you're a person that's very rebellious, by that definition, right, a rebellious person is crazy, right? So there's no way to say it. It's all about control. That's what it is. It's all about control. They hop you on medications, control your mind so you won't be rebel against the system right now, right? And they point out the people that's making sense are the crazy one. So these medications only suppress you. That's what it is. It's all about suppressions, and people don't realize this, right? They're suppressing thoughts, ideas. People who might have very creative thoughts, they suppress them from spreading to other people and let other people think for themselves, right? A society that thinks is a very dangerous society for the government, because the least thing the government want is a society to be able to think for themselves, right? That's why they're controlling with all these medias out there, right? That try to think for people. What people are lacking right now is the ability to think for themselves. Back when I was growing up, they were advocating critical thinking. They have class to teach you how to critical think. They have class to teach you how to critically write, right? and they have class for you to comprehend, reading comprehension class. Now I don't think that those classes are offered anymore, are they? I'm not sure. I've been out of school for a while, right? So if it's not, these classes are not offering, so how are people able to think for themselves now? They don't. They just become a class of sheeps, right? And that's where it is. You're hopped up on dope, on medications, and you're just sedated the whole time. Why do you think? Why do you think they 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 legalize marijuana, right? What is marijuana? It's sedation. You're just sedating yourself the whole time, right? You're reluctant to do anything. You're reluctant to pursue. You're reluctant to aspire to be your best self. And what you do is you're just on the couch smoking dope all day, smoking weed, and just not rebellious. When you're that sedated, your drive to rebel against the system it diminish, it depreciate, right? This is why they're doing all this thing right now. Think about it. All the thing they implemented right now. What are their intentions? Why are they doing this? And people don't like to engage in conversations because they don't want to think. What the conversation do? When you engage in conversation, it get people thinking, right? And what are the people that don't like to engage in a conversation? The sheep people, right? The blue pill people. They do not like to engage in a constructive conversation without shouting over each other, yelling over each other, using ad hominems, attacking people personally instead of focusing on the topics, right? That's their tactics, right? So back to my point is that there's no cure for mental illness. There's not. You cannot cure people for something that they just that you don't agree with them, right? There's no cure for mental illness. So because there's no cure for mental illness, there's only treatment, and that benefit the pharmaceutical company the most. I'm taking a big risk by talking about this subject. All right, this is one of the subjects that this platform don't want me to talk about. All right, because this industry is really lucrative when it comes to preying on people. Right? What is pharmaceutical pharmakia? It's basically witchcraft. What do they do back in the days? What do witch do back in the days? Which is concocted brews, concocted elixirs, right? Concocting potions, right? In their laboratory, in their cauldrons, right? The same thing about a pharmacist. That's what they do. They take all these chemicals and concoct them, right? Concoct them into elixirs, into pills, right? Into potions. Right? What is thing that we're drinking right now at the pharmacy is potions. Right? When you look at it, it's witchcraft. Use it to control people, use it to dazzle people, use it to control the chemicals in people's brain, use it to control the dopamine rush, use it to block certain receptors, SSRI, right? Selective serotonin receptors inhibitors, right? All these stuff, right? And people need to realize that there's no cure. It's inner demon battles. You have to battle with yourself. It's an inner demon you have to battle that you're willing to accept, and are you willing to accept it? Are you willing to fight it? Right? Are you willing to get better? Because these people out there that's dealing with this mental illness is an inner battle with themselves. They have to overcome themselves, right? Drugs can't fix them. They have to fix themselves, right? So they have to come to realizations that is what they're doing healthy for them, is what they're doing actually doing them a service. If they could comprehend that, then they could just overcome anything. If you have the ability to comprehend your own sickness, to admit to your own sickness, you have the ability to come out of it. That's what it is. If you don't have the ability to understand yourself, the ability to recognize your own illnesses, there's no saving you. You have to understand it yourself. It's a self discovery, right? That's why you have to reflect yourself. That's why people usually take sabbaticals, missions, take a year off to get a self discovery, to find out for themselves what are they dealing with life, right? Because of that, because of the system, the rat race we're in right now, people do not have that kind of option. They have to work at 24. They work 24/7 and 9 to 5 all the time. Right? Take a vacation, 2 week vacation. That's not long. That's not long enough. Two week vacations is not long, especially in the United States, right? because of that, other country elsewhere, their mental illness, right, is very lower compared to the United States. And in another foreign country, they take long vacations, right? They take like 6 months vacations or something like that, right? In European countries, right? And when it comes to the United States, it's only 2 week vacations. That's not long enough to reset yourself. Basically, it's reset. Basically, all this mental illness that's going to people's head is brain malfunction. They need a heart reset. That's what it is. They need a heart reset like a computer. When a computer is corrupted, what do? You reboot it, reformat it, and then it runs back again. Right? You need to reset your computer. Right? The medication is just basically these how I'm saying, this antivirus software. It does nothing. When you look at it, this software that the computer does nothing. Right? It's gonna come to a point where you have to reformat the computer and redo it all again, all the time. This is why these software companies, these antivirus software, they don't work. People don't really need these stuff, right? It doesn't work. So sometimes when the computer's corrupt, right, the best thing to do is reformat it, start fresh, right? Same go with a person's computer in their head, right? They need to reset it, and I think that's what the Romans understand, that they put these people in a cell for them to self-reset their body, right? And not only that, when you fast, it's basically like fasting, not eating, right? That's basically a reset as well. You're resetting your body, right? But I'm not a medical expert. I'm just saying from my opinion, right? Don't take this as medical advice, all right? But back to my point. When it comes to mental illnesses, there's no cure. People have to cure themselves. You can't rely on the pharmaceutical company. You can't rely on nothing. Right? You can rely on yourself and rely on God. That's it. To help you get through your darkest days. Alright? And for you to understand what you're going through, and you have recognized what you're going through, and you have to battle it and beat it yourself. But on that note, guys, let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Do you have some comments you want to put in? Let me know. Leave a comment below. And as always, peace and blessings.